Do it now.
There you go.
All right.
Once again, I couldn't see any of that. Could you guys see all that?
You know
Yes.
what? I wasn't. Yeah, I guess I did see the beginning. Then I started concentrating.
Okay. All right, cool. Go.
We'll get the Hasbro stuff out of the way. Just a couple quick things. The Jabeam Obi-Wan figure, general release, Star Wars series black 6-inch. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool. Yeah.
I like the way they did his robes. It looks nice.
Yeah.
Which can always be sort of hit or miss for me. Got the Ned B, the droid that isn't Kevin Smith apparently. He's 6-inch black series, but I think he's a deluxe because he's $34.
Ooh.
And we have Tika, the Jawa, and he's a Target exclusive. So
Cool.
if you want him, you're gonna have to hit up Target's website. Yeah, he's the first translated translated Jawa we've seen in a Star Wars show, if I'm correct.
Yeah, as far as I know too. Yeah.
Kind of surprised they
I
did
feel
that.
like in Boba Fett there was some translation.
I don't know.
No, that was Mandalorian when they wanted the egg.
Yeah.
Remember they were saying.
Oh, maybe.
Well, we weren't really getting a translation aside from what we could interpret based on their responses.
Yeah, I think.
This one that we were actually literally getting a translation. Yeah.
Right. So if you're a big Tika fan, hit up Target's website. I think he's already up, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a retro carded 6-inch Apocalypse from the Marvel Legends series.
Awesome.
He is already sold out on Hasbro Pulse, but I think he's going to be available elsewhere. So you might want to get on that. If he's already sold out at Pulse, he might sell out quickly, sort of like in the throwback colors as well on the retro card.
Man, it's so
Excuse me.
Jeez.
That's a steep price. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't know what to think about that because it's the regular line. What you're getting here is you're getting the regular line the regular Marvel Legends series, which is already $24. They're charging extra because he's on this retro card and he's an oversized figure, so I guess that they're trying to justify the
Cool
$39
figure,
price tag. And then the last little bit of Hasbro news, we talked about Reva's lightsaber being a HasLab item. Well, here we have the G.I. Joe classified HISS tank. This is $300. It's in a 6-inch scale. This is already well surpassed its benchmark, $300 or whatever the funding level.
Right.
I should have wrote that down, but it's been, I think it's already up to including 3 figures. Here it only shows 1 figure. Now it's up to 3 figures and a bunch of add-ons for the tank. So G.I. Joe fans are shelling out the money for this. And the last I looked, that Reva lightsaber, I don't think has a chance of funding.
That's expensive.
I got a little conversation I want to share with you and ask your opinion about, Pat. So Tyler and I were talking about this really odd, I can't remember the name of it exactly right now, but it was a Transformers huge, in my opinion, odd looking action figure that I'd never heard of him before. It was like a $200 action figure. And Tyler was like, yeah, I guess the Transformers fans, they're going to love these. You know which one I'm talking about? It was out on Hasbro recently, trying to get funding as well, too. Recently being the last couple months. Does that ring a bell to you at all?
It doesn't. Yeah, unfortunately, I know there's a lot of Transformers fans out there, but it's just something I've never really been that deep into, and I know.
Yeah, that's so you're probably going to agree with me because this is how I was. I was like, man, I cannot believe that people would pay $200 for that hokey Transformer. It wasn't even like, I think that's why I'm not a big Transformer fan. I think all of them are a little bit hokey to me in general. But this one was really odd to me, and it was so expensive. So I was like, I could not believe it. And then they showed this Cobra tank, and I told Tyler, I was like, wow, that is sick. I'm not really even a G.I. Joe fan, and I'd buy that thing. That is, I think this looks great. And I definitely can appreciate G.I. Joe, and even though I basically say I was never a G.I. Joe fan just because, back at that period of time, you kind of chose you're going to be a Star Wars action figure toy collectible person, or you're going to be a G.I. Joe toy, because it was all kind of coming out at the same time, back then.
Right.
And anyway, so that's why I really wasn't into G.I. Joe. But I think this looks sick, and this is awesome. And Tyler was like, man, we were talking about that Transformer not being able to get funded. How did this thing get funded? I'm like, because it's sick. And he was like, I don't know about that. I was like, are you serious? This thing's great. What do you think?
I think it looks great. I'm just not a big enough G.I. Joe fan.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't buy it either because of that same thing. But this totally looks like it'd be worth it if I were one. That's for sure.
Especially now that it's up to 3 figures. That really helps out, I think. This is the first G.I. Joe HasLab project, so I'm not surprised that there's a lot of interest, and they picked a good one, I think, to start out with. I just paged over to the HasLab page. Was it like a red, white, and blue looking Transformer you were looking at?
I can't remember the colors. It was it was huge. It was really a big one. I can look it up.
Yeah, because there's always Unicron. Wasn't him, was it?
I'm going to look right now as
he's the big planet-sized Transformer. Yeah.
I'm going to find it right now while you're talking about the rest of the stuff.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
No problem. So the last thing, and probably the thing that I was most interested in, kind of the information released this week, was Fresh Monkey Studios, who has a good track record of putting out figures, announced the Longbox Heroes, and these are based on independent comic book heroes. And they in 2018 they had tried a Kickstarter to fund these guys, which were 3 3/4 inch amazing heroes, and they were super, basically like think typical 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figure articulation these days. But this did not meet funding, which I was really shocked. I even went in on this one, not fully in, but these were all the starting figures you could pick from, and they had all these additional ones slotted in as stretch goals. Excuse me. And it did not make funding, and this line never saw the light of day. And you can see there was all kinds of.
Yeah, those are great. Yeah.
Do you remember what it was per figure?
Normal water.
I don't. I pledged 100, and I think it was for 5 figures. So it's $20 a figure. These days, it's a steal with the way figure prices have been going up. But I could have easily picked 5 out of that. With the Savage Dragon variants alone, I was going to get all those in the Madman figure. And these are also the guys that make the Secret Wars style amazing heroes. They're that they have limited articulation. But so these are going to be exclusive to Big Bad Toy Store. It's Fresh Monkey Fiction working together with Toy Otter, Jason Gyers. Thank you. Losing my voice. Take a week off. And they've been announcing 2 or 3 a day over the past week. And here's I think there's one more to come today that is as of showtime for us. It hadn't hit yet. They started out with Grendel, Mr. Monster, the Tick, which we can't get away from lately. He's everywhere.
The Tick's awesome. That's why you start.
These figures are 2 joints over the Amazing Heroes Madman that I showed. They have knee joints, so they're not the super articulated like the ones that the Kickstarter failed on. They're sort of like that in between area. Although I don't know how I guess they could articulate the neck behind the big jaw on the Tick. I was gonna say how would they rotate his head, but I think it's probably behind his neck there. Rocketeer. Madman, he has to pop up in every single figure line apparently, but
Madman's awesome, like the Tick.
Cassie Hack from Hack and Slash. And then the last one that I had, and he was not on it, he was together with Cassie, is the Goon. So they've got a really cool assortment there already. And like I said, one more I think to be announced before they start their pre-orders. July 6th on Big Bad Toy Store. I don't believe they've announced the price. I'm afraid it's probably gonna be like $25, which is, seems to be if that's my guess. I have no idea, but judging by the costs of these more limited non-Hasbro, non-Mattel action figures, I'd say that 24 is maybe on the low side a little bit. Maybe they're going to be 29. Who knows? But I think they look really cool.
Yeah.
And I think they picked a good initial starting lineup. Again, they're called Longbox Heroes, and I said Toy Otter. He's the sculptor, and I've posted on Exceller. He's worked in the toy industry. He posts a lot of lines that he's worked on that have gotten scrapped, and he's also the guy that continued to make the Batman figures in the Tim Burton style that I've been posting. He also did a lot of Secret Wars customs, a lot of Superpowers customs. He's just he's a really neat guy to follow. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's always posting cool
custom stuff
or stuff that he actually worked on that was really
gotcha. Yeah, okay.
So it's definitely worth a follow. He also did those Marvel in the 70s digital sculpts a couple years back that were really cool. And I need a break so you guys can talk.
Well, so I'm going to chime in now before we get out of this segment about this. So I looked it up. It's the Transformers Generations Legacy Series Titan Cybertron Universe Metroplex.
Yeah, it's easy for you to say.
Yeah, it's a $200 action figure, first of all.
Wow.
And he transformed one of his hands is a like a backloader, and his other hand is like a spinning blade, and he transforms into a stationary, literally a square base. What do you call them? Yeah, backloader. Where the one end is like a bulldozer scoop, and the other end is the arm comes
like
in.
Backhoe.
Yeah, backhoe. Yeah. Like a backhoe. Yeah, exactly. That's what he transforms into. I'm like, man, this guy sucks. But like I said, I'm not a big Transformer fan to begin with, so I'm not trying to judge or hate anything that someone else really likes a lot. It's just not my gig.
He wasn't even a HasLab, Kevin. He's just a regular sort of figure. Yeah. It's amazing. Like I said, man, there are some real rabid Transformers fans out there that, they'll not only buy the official stuff, they'll buy like third party, sort of knockoff that sort of approach the levels of, maybe even surpass what, the legit companies are putting out there. There's just a lot of, diehards out there that love their Transformers.
Amazing, man. Yeah. $200. Jeez.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, if it's your thing, you're willing to shell out the money.
Yep.
All right, so were you done or
that was it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, once again, Patrick brings stuff to the table that I want to buy.
Yeah, now I want all that stuff again as well, and I want the stuff that he said we can't even get too, because yeah, all that stuff is good. So, all right, well, again,
There's that Madman again.
yeah,
Sort of, the Secret Wars style.
mm-hmm. You got that a while ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.